Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press evening podcast for March 29th, 2025. First, we're looking at the ongoing economic tensions between nations, as trade negotiations and sanctions continue to impact global markets. In our first article, we explored the effects of these tensions on international trade and the potential consequences for economies worldwide. Next, we turn our attention to Turkey, where protests against President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's government are gaining momentum. The demonstrations, sparked by the detention of opposition leader Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, have drawn widespread support and raised concerns about the state of democracy in the region. We spoke with Turkish Nobel laureate Orhan Pamuk, who described the situation as a critical moment for Turkish democracy. Finally, we examined the escalating conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Despite diplomatic efforts to broker a ceasefire, fighting continues to intensify, with both sides reporting attacks and casualties. The humanitarian situation on the ground is dire, with the UN rights chief calling for an end to the suffering of civilians. We'll continue to bring you updates and analysis on this developing story. That's all for tonight. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. We'll be back tomorrow with more in-depth coverage and expert insights. Until then, good night. Now for the latest in social and cultural news. Here is Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. Firstly, in international news, a devastating earthquake has struck Myanmar and Thailand, resulting in over 10,000 confirmed deaths and many more injured or unaccounted for. The international community is responding with aid and support, and will continue to monitor this developing story. In politics, there's been a breakthrough in peace talks between Armenia and Azerbaijan, with the two countries agreeing to sign a peace deal after years of conflict. We'll be keeping an eye on this significant development and its implications for regional stability. Lastly, in sports news, the summer transfer window is heating up, with several top-tier football clubs vying for talented players from Udinese. At the center of this transfer frenzy is Italian striker Lorenzo Luca, who has caught the attention of Inter Milan, AC Milan, Napoli, Atletico Madrid, and Nottingham Forest. With a price tag of €40 million, Luca's future is uncertain, but one thing is clear. The pursuit of top talent will be a major storyline in the world of football this summer. That's all for tonight. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press podcast. Until next time, good night. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Tonight, we're bringing you a brief summary of our top stories. First, we explored the world of high-yield investments, where changes in distribution policies for closed-end funds, or CFs, are having a significant impact on investors. Our expert analyst, Kwandala Hawes, weighed in on the implications of these changes and reminded investors to remain informed and adapt to the shifting market conditions. Next, we delved into the energy sector, where two interesting stories caught our attention. We looked at Ring Energy, an oil and gas company that's been making waves in the industry, with a strong balance sheet and competitive position. And on the other hand, we examined Nuvista Energy, another player in the sector that's been underperforming due to a weak oil market outlook, but still boasts strong production growth and a pristine balance sheet. Lastly, we touched on the world of high-yield ETFs, which are becoming increasingly popular among income-seeking investors. While these investments offer a diversified portfolio of high-yielding securities, they also come with their own set of risks and challenges. That's all for tonight, folks. Remember to stay informed, stay vigilant, and always keep your eyes on the markets. Until next time, good night and happy investing. And as I always say, don't let the market volatility get you down. Just ring in the changes and keep your energy up. Good night. Now, for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, we explored a remarkable phenomenon where certain tree species, specifically Dipteryx alata, seem to be inviting lightning strikes as part of their survival strategy. Researchers have discovered that these trees have an extraordinary ability to tolerate lightning strikes, with some individuals being hit multiple times without suffering significant damage. By attracting lightning, Dipteryx trees are able to reduce the number of parasitic vines that infest them, giving them a competitive advantage over other tree species. In another story, we delved into the unique relationship between lightning and these remarkable trees. The researchers believe that Dipteryx trees may be actively attracting lightning by growing taller than their neighbors, making them more attractive targets for electrical discharges from the sky. This clever strategy allows them to thrive in their environment, highlighting the complex and often surprising ways in which living organisms adapt to their environments. Lastly, we touched upon the awe-inspiring complexity and beauty of the natural world, as exemplified by these incredible trees. As we continue to explore and learn more about our planet, stories like this one remind us that even in the face of danger, life can find a way to not only survive, but thrive. That's all for tonight's edition of the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the fascinating world of science and nature. Until next time, good night, and stay curious. Now for the latest in sports, here's Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. Tonight, we've got a trio of captivating tales that will surely pique your interest. Firstly, in the realm of football, we explored an often overlooked chapter in the legendary career of Joe Montana. It's a lesser-known fact that Montana was perhaps more adept at basketball than football during his formative years. This revelation, shared by Scott Zolak, paints a nuanced picture of Montana's athletic prowess, underscoring the versatility and natural ability that characterize great athletes. In other news, we witnessed a thrilling matchup between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Detroit Tigers. Mookie Betts stole the show with his dramatic heroics, launching a 3-2 pitch over the left field wall to secure a win for the Dodgers. This stunning display of athleticism serves as a testament to the incredible talent that exists in the world of sports. Lastly, we touched upon the Baltimore Ravens' recent moves, including the signing of veteran quarterback, and the implications this may have on their upcoming season. As the NFL landscape continues to evolve, it's essential to stay informed about the latest developments and how they might impact your favorite teams. These stories, among others, remind us that the world of sports is a complex tapestry, woven from threads of human achievement, perseverance, and dedication. As we navigate this intricate landscape, we're constantly reminded that there's always more to discover, more to explore, and more to appreciate. That's all for tonight's podcast. Thank you for joining me on this intellectual and entertaining journey through the realm of athletics. Until next time, when we'll delve into another fascinating chapter of the sports world, I bid you farewell. The drama of athletic competition is indeed a multifaceted jewel, reflecting not just victories, but the very essence of human endeavor. This is Howard Closewell speaking, reminding you to now for the latest in travel and human interest. Here is Charles Curel.
Thank you, Howard. First, we reported on a shocking stabbing rampage in Amsterdam, where 5 people were injured, and a community is left shaken. The suspect, a 31-year-old Ukrainian national, was arrested with the help of brave bystanders, and authorities are still investigating the motive behind the attack. Next, we traveled to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, where a team of high school students from Salt Steady.I. Marine made their community proud by advancing to the second round of the High School Bowl, a long-standing academic tournament that celebrates knowledge and intellectual curiosity. Lastly, we didn't have a third article to summarize in the classical sense, but rather a lead-in to tonight's podcast, where we discuss the importance of supporting our local educational institutions and celebrating the achievements of our young people, as well as a brief mention of an earlier story about a stabbing attack in Amsterdam and another story about the High School Bowl. That's all for tonight. Thank you for joining me on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until tomorrow, stay informed, and let's continue to celebrate the achievements of our young people and the communities that support them. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. I've got the scoop on our top stories tonight. First up, we took a trip down memory lane with a fascinating look at the history of golf, courtesy of Michael R. Cush's new book, The 100 Greatest Golfers of All Time. From Scotland to modern-day superstars like Tiger Woods, this book is a wild ride full of incredible stories. Next, we headed to the courts and fields for some high school sports action in LA. We've got the lowdown on all the thrilling matchups, from baseball to softball, and trust me, these kids are giving it their all. And finally, we took a step back in time with a look at the early days of professional golf, highlighting some of the sport's most fascinating personalities and stories. So, if you're looking for a dose of sports, history, and drama, you've come to the right place. Stay classy, folks, and keep on golfing. That's all for tonight. Thanks for tuning into the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Now, for the latest in nature and environment, here is David at Nature.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we looked at the concerning situation surrounding the welfare of animals in captivity, particularly at marine parks like Gulf World Marine Park. The recent raid by Florida law enforcement highlights the importance of transparency and accountability in ensuring the well-being of these incredible creatures. Secondly, we examined the tragic plight of endangered species, such as those affected by habitat destruction and human activities. The story of the birds of paradise and their unique biofluorescence abilities serves as a reminder of the beauty and wonder of the natural world, but also underscores the urgent need to protect these species and their habitats. Lastly, we reported on the alarming decline of certain bird populations due to various environmental factors. The discovery of biofluorescence in birds like parrots, hummingbirds, and songbirds is a remarkable finding that showcases the intricate complexity of bird courtship behaviors and the importance of preserving biodiversity. These stories not only highlight the wonders of the natural world, but also emphasize our responsibility as a society to promote empathy, stewardship, and conservation. As we continue to explore and learn more about our planet, it's essential that we take action to protect these incredible species and their ecosystems. That's all for tonight's summary. Thank you for tuning in to the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, good night, and let's continue to marvel at the wonders of the natural world while working towards a brighter future for all species. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David at Nature for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.